Hello and welcome back to the Figure Forecast podcast with your host Scarlett and my lovely co-host Maeve. Today we have got IFBB Pro and Olympian Jennifer Zienert on the show. She has had a fantastic start to her season this year, competing in both Pittsburgh and New York Pro. And we also just wanted to have a catch up with her. Let her tell you a little bit about her journey into competing and her plans for the rest of the year, I guess. So yeah, I'd like to tell everyone about how you got to where you are.
So first of all, thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here and to spread my little journey or story to the world because I'm from Germany. I'm German, so I only can tell my story or publish my story around the world with women like you. That's really nice. I appreciate it. First of all, I'm 28 years old. I live in Augsburg. It's a bigger city in Bavaria. I think a lot of people know Munich from Germany. So
Munich, Frankfurt,
far
Berlin,
from
yeah.
Yes, and I started my journey 10 years ago. I was 18 years old when I went to the gym, and I started with a simple plan from a trainer from the gym. And a friend of me was competing at a national show, and we joined him and cheered for him at the show. And I saw for the first time the categories, the bikinis, the figures, and I fell in love with the figure the first time. And then everything started. I searched for a coach. I trained with a plan. I ate with a nutrition plan and made my way into the first show after 2 years. And yeah.
So you went to your first bodybuilding show, watched figure, and you were like, yeah, I want to look like that one. Yeah. I love that.
A lot of these decisions in my life were with like, oh wow moments. So
I think that just means back, like you're inspired, you're motivated, you're passionate about it. And yeah, I think that's a really good way to be, for sure. What year did you start competing? What year did you start competing?
2015 was my first show as a junior. And it was so crazy because I hopped on the stage without place, without pumping, because it was so confusing backstage, and it was crazy. It was the worst scenario you can imagine for the first time. And after that, I thought, oh, it's okay. I was relaxed. So with show to show, I went, relaxed or
How many shows did it take to become pro?
I was first an elite pro. I don't know if you know this federation. This was 2017. So I made in the first year 4 shows, second year 4 shows, third year I think 4 shows too. So it was like 12 or 13 shows to become elite pro. And I did 1 season as an elite pro and switched the federation, started with nothing in Maidenhead in London, in the UK.
Where else?
Yeah.
Shows on every weekend there.
And it took me only 1 pro qualifier to turn pro.
I would have imagined so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have liked
way to
I went to Maiden.
I think that's a really good example. Sorry.
What?
I think it's a really good example to remind people that you know, turning pro doesn't happen in your first show. It doesn't happen in your second or third show. It usually does not happen for quite a long time. And you had 3 solid seasons and done 4 shows a season before you got to look at a pro card. So it's just yeah, it's a nice little reminder to people that it just does not happen overnight for most people. And you see some people going in and winning a card first time, and I think people then think and put pressure on themselves that, you know, you have to win a pro card really quickly. But I think that's really cool that you were able to just keep going and keep growing and keep kind of keep that goal center of your mind.
Yes, I do coaching since 8 years now, and a lot of people come to me and say, I want to be IFBB pro. I want to go to Olympia. So that's the first thing I hear from them, and I say, nice, we will get this done, but I need your discipline and I need your patience. So in the end, after a few months of working, or the first show or experiences at a show, they are a little bit disappointed because the goal was too high, and they see, oh, I can't turn pro in 1 year.
Yeah,
working with a coach.
yeah,
And some of them stop the
yeah,
whole thing
Yeah.
and are disappointed because it's not going that fast. And some are like me and say, okay, I will get better, I will get better, I will get better, I will grow. And someday I will be there where I always wanted to be.
yeah.
And,
I
and the
think
thing
that's
is
the
as well,
mindset. You know, you go.
the thing is as well, when it's like, when it is your lifestyle and it is something that you're very passionate about doing, and you just, you know, you're happy with doing the day-to-day stuff, then it doesn't really matter when you get there, because nothing really changes. When you turn pro, you're still doing the same things as what you were doing before, except you're just in a different sort of area bubble now. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not that like, you know, anything in particular changes. And I think if you're just one of them people who just wants to get a pro card so that you can be called a pro, like, what do you do when you turn pro? It's like, you know, you nothing changes really. Well, I imagine, I'm not a pro, but, but you know what I mean?
You don't have to have a pro card to work like a professional. So there's a lot of things with it to. So I always say that a professional is almost the same like an amateur, but with more experience, with more maturity, and yes, not giving up over the years. So when I was 18 years old and I saw the figure pros in the Flex magazine, I always wanted to look like that, and I said to myself, someday you will look like that. And it's so crazy because to think about the girls who were next to me at the Pittsburgh and New York Pro, for example, Natalia was my back screen when I was 19 or 20 years old. And now 8 years later or 7 years later, I don't know when it was, she's next to me and I am placed behind her. So she was always my inspiration, or the picture in my head what I wanted to look like.
How did that feel like for the first time, kind of being in that lineup, standing beside people you looked up to for years? Like, how did that actually feel for you?
Unbelievable. So not real.
Yeah.
In the first time, you always wished it would happen, but when you realize it after it, you are only thankful or grateful for this, and you know you made it by yourself. That's because of your work, your consistency, your discipline, not giving up when you felt like that.
Yeah.
You only are proud of yourself, and you forget how much suffering or struggle
it makes it all worth it.
Took yes, definitely.
I think that's a really good mindset to have. You kind of need to learn to love the process before the result or before the outcome. Like, you need to enjoy the lifestyle, and like, obviously we all get days where we don't really enjoy eating our chicken and rice or getting up and doing our cardio, but you need to learn to love that kind of journey and development and kind of process. So what would you say advice wise to kind of people who are maybe getting frustrated or feeling like, you know, they're not good enough, and, you know, they obviously have phases of, you know, days that they're like, I'm just going to stop, or it's not going to happen for me. Like, what would be the biggest bit of advice you can give to them?
I think a lot of people, the first problem is they are not doing this for themselves, because only for business, for social media, for their ego, for example. And if you only do it for yourself or for your priorities or your goals, you will always find a way. You will always have some days where you can offer 70%, but at some days you can push the level over the 100%, and it will be in balance after the years. So you have to remind yourself that not 100% every day is the goal. So it's the balance to know when you need to take a step back, to do some things different, not the routine, like so crazy. So I have to do this today. If I can't do this or that, at the end of the day, I will not get better, or something like that. They are too crazy in their heads. They don't listen to their gut or their intention. So you need to be a little bit more flexible, because life isn't planned. Also, not planned every day. There can be something with the job, with the husband or the boyfriend or the friends, the family, and we are not machines. So you need to handle these emotions too, that they don't break over you like a I don't know what's the word, when the snow
just doesn't take over, it doesn't take control. Like a virus.
So you have to control of your daily routine on the things you can control, and then everything else will fall in place like it should.
Yeah. So have you ever found that, like, in some preps, like maybe in the past, that have been where you might have struggled more than others in terms of like external things going on, and how have you like pushed through them? If you know, if obviously when you're in a prep setting, it's different, isn't it? To, you know, I think people, you are so hyper focused that, you know, even if, I don't know, the roof flew off the house, you'd still have to go out and get your cardio done, kind of thing. So have you ever experienced anything like that, or in your past?
Definitely. So because I always do preps around 16 over 20-25 weeks. So as a pro, you need to do shows, and last year I did 6 shows over the whole year. And after, I think the third or fourth show, I was like, oh my God, I can't suffer anymore. I can't handle this hunger anymore, because I already was in shape. So
you were trying to maintain that condition.
Yes, you need to get your brain trained more than your body, because the body can stand so much more than the mind, and the mind gets tired after suffering, after handling with those hunger, with those you go to the gym with a low body fat, and you don't feel good. You keep pushing through the workouts, and after months and months and months, okay, you have some refeeds or something like that, but it won't help if you have a certain amount of body fat, which gives you the good feeling in the gym. So after months or weeks of suffering and hungering and pushing every time you're in the gym through those limits, you get tired, and you need to know how to take a break, but not taking a break of eating whatever you want or not going to the gym, but what can you do to give your body and your mind something back? What is a pleasure to your mind and your body? And so you can crawl to the next day and
literally
pushing forward in the gym. Yes, mentally crawling forward. But I always tell myself, or what helped me was, look at others in this scenario. I always say, don't look at others when it comes to comparisons, but look at others who had the same journey like you. They also did a lot of shows. When you look at the pros, they always have to do a lot of shows to become a person in the pro league, to showing off, to be present at the shows, to showing what you are capable of. Because when you are good, you come to a show, you take a second or third place, or maybe you win a show. That's all. Nobody will remember you because you are only as good as your last show.
Yeah.
So at the next show, there will be a next winner. So, hey, that's the new golden star. So everybody will forget about you. You have to be persistent.
Yeah. There's obviously, between the Pittsburgh and the New York for you, there was a massive jump in placing. Like 4 places, wasn't it? 7th to 3rd.
Yeah.
What did you do differently? What do you think made the difference for you?
So the look of the Pittsburgh Pro was not planned, because when you look at my last shows, or the Olympia, the Tampa Pro, the Texas Pro, I am always conditioned to the bone. And in Pittsburgh, I was full, soft, round, but not that conditioned when you think about my shape on the stage. Yes. So I was trying to do something different, because I got a recommendation of a judge the week before. And one thing is, a weak point of my body was the delts and the lats, and also a little bit my quads. So that's what gives you the X frame. And when I'm too conditioned, I will leak a little bit in these areas. So I had a little form check with a judge in the week before the Pittsburgh, and he told me, depleted look, maybe you're a little bit too flat, a little bit too hard at this point. Try to fill up the body right now. And we were like, okay, when we will be conditioned like always, maybe we have the weak points smaller like always. So we try to fill this lady up to the top.
Too much. Yeah.
Yes, but at the end it was a little bit too much. So we tried to flip it
Bring it back down.
in 1 week, and I didn't get a cheat after the Pittsburgh. I went back to the cardio. We went back to training. We went back to moderate carb. We are no fan of no carb or depleting completely. So it worked very well, because I lost, it was almost 9 or 10 pounds in 5 days without doing anything extreme, only back to normal routine after this enormous carb up experience thing.
I think that's
what
really
did you have to do?
Because a lot of amateurs are probably, trying extremes when they're not at an extreme point physique wise, and they think like, throwing hundreds of grams of carbs or depleting to the absolute max they can, or doing these crazy peak week protocols, when in fact even the pros take a simpler approach. And that seems to work, because some people might get the perfect response from the crazy protocol, but that's probably very few people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you are in shape 100%,
Yeah.
you see, like me, it looked okay. It looked a little bit too full, but it looked good. If I had a little bit more body fat or 1 or 2 kilograms of fat somewhere, I would have looked like a whale on stage.
Yeah, and
Really?
it does happen. Yeah, it does. I think it's so funny when people are saying, "Oh, like I was so watery," and you're like, "No, you needed to
That's
lose
only
it."
body fat.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of the body fat with the diuretic.
No. No.
So the biggest thing was, if I had shown up like I planned in Pittsburgh, I would have been tighter for New York and would have bring an even better package to New York than I had already in New York. And that's a little bit so, but it's always, I think there's always a reason for everything, and I will find out what it was.
Yeah, but you know exactly then for the next show, right? Do as I've been doing, and I'm gonna nail it. Like when you came out in the lineup in the New York Pro, the two of us had the same reaction. We were just like, "Holy shit balls!" It was unbelievable. Like the look, it was by far my favorite of the day. Personally, it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I think it's like your stage presence and stuff as well. Like you just own it. Like as soon as you walked out, even when you were in like the first like pre-judging lineup, and I think you were like over on the side at the end, and I was literally just looking at you straight away. Like there could have been nobody else on the stage, because like you did definitely stand out. So yeah, you did amazing. Have you got any plans for shows soon, or are you going to be holding it up a little bit?
I had this week a crazy thing going on, because we moved with our warehouse of our brand to a new location, and yesterday was the opening of it, and so this was the first thing we need to check that it's done, that's our business, that's the thing which pays my sport, because I was a nurse for 6 years, and I always told myself the job is the thing which pays my sport and my bills. And the job I do, this can't
you can't let it slide.
First priority. Yes, this must be.
It's an expensive
This must
sport.
be the first priority. Yes, and the job pays my bills, so it's the first priority. Even in my head, the sport is my first priority. But with no money,
job,
I can't. That's true. So I'm thinking about some shows, but I will leave it under blankets until I decided it finally. So I will do shows as soon as possible. I don't know where, but as soon as possible, when everything is done here. And yes, and the goal is to get the Olympia qualification for this year.
Yeah,
as soon as possible, that I can chill my brain and body a little bit.
So was last year's Olympia your first Olympia?
Yeah.
How did that feel then?
I cried really, because it was a totally different feeling before the Olympia than before the pro shows or every show before, because it felt like now I am where I always wanted to be. So that's the first, I don't know, it's like, I like the picture emotion thing. When you are an astronaut and you're training for the flight to the moon, you practice, you are in a simulator or something like that, and everything before the flight to the moon was everything before with my shows. And the Olympia was like the first step on the moon with my foot. And it was amazing because it was like, okay, now I am where I always wanted to be. That's the first footprint from the the final story, or the thing which I always wanted to happen in my life.
You mentioned you used to do nursing. So when was that up until, like, what year did you stop nursing, and what made you, was that to go down the coaching route, or did you create the nutrition business, or how did that all happen?
I always had to do one or two jobs next to my nursing job, because everything is so expensive in this sport. So the coaching I built up next to my nursing while I was nursing, so in a smaller amount of people and clients. And 2020, it was 2020, I met my husband, and I was working in a hospital too. I was working in a surgeon, next to a surgeon in an operation room. And I always had 24-hour duties. And in this time, it was COVID, and it was crazy, and COVID started, and we had we had two well, what's the word?
No surgery.
We were not no nurses in to help, and to less
staff.
personal.
Oh yeah,
yes,
yes, it wasn't.
Yeah, and I had to work like 2 or 3 24-hour duties per week, and my husband was like, "Hi."
You know, you're married.
Hi, where are you? So, well, and he said, okay, let's risk everything. Let's start a little local shop in our city. Let's build it up next to your coaching. Let's do an online shop for supplements. And we started the thing. We quit our both jobs and said, okay, we don't have a expensive flat, we don't live a expensive life, only the sport, we don't need a fancy car. Let's work for ourselves, be happy, and have time with each other. So we started this, and it was like, so
it took off.
It grew month per month, not extreme, but yeah, with a good line to the top. So now we are bigger, and we have a bigger online shop. We have our own supplement brand now. Started with the local shop, started with an online shop with different brands, and now we have our own brands and our own brand. And the coaching is running very well. We are doing a lot of international shows with our clients, and we made some great pros. They won pro cards. It's going step by step the way we imagined.
Amazing. And why supplements? Like, was it an area that you were particularly interested in beforehand? Do you think maybe the sciencey background and nursing and stuff helps you go down that route?
Yes, because in the medicine you are, I would say you're like a little criminal next to the doctors, because the pharma industry is big and huge, and they only try to handle the symptoms and not the cause of the disease.
Before the prevention rather than the cure.
Yes. And you know, in the coaching you doing with the nutrition, the sport, the base for the health. And with the supplements you can learn your body to heal itself in a kind of setting of way. Yes. If you're not too ill or too sick or have I don't know,
your leg isn't hanging off.
cancer or something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
And that is amazing, because you do something good for the people without hurting them, or working with a pharma industry in your neck.
Yeah. I find supplements so interesting, and kind of just vitamins and stuff in general. That's my current.
And when you do it,
podcast.
when you produce them by yourself, you know where it came from. Are they from Germany? What's in the capsule? What's in the tablet? What is the powder from? You can make the taste like you want it. So if you want chocolate with fancy, I don't know, marshmallow, you can do it.
Yeah.
So,
what's your favorite product? What from your range? What is it?
Oh my God, I can't tell you one favorite. So
okay, top three.
We have a isolate with hydrolysate, protein powder with enzymes and bromelain in it, and I love it. And we also have from the supplements a lot of capsules. I had a little my throat was so itchy, so I thought I will be ill the next day, and I took my vitamins, and the next day I felt good. So because I knew my things or my products are working, yes, and so the whole health line is my favorite. And we have a rice pudding, a cream of rice, which is totally different than anything else, because it tastes, I don't know if you know, not grits. It's not like grits, but it's like, in Germany we say grieß.
Oh yeah, I've had that in Germany.
Yeah, and it's from rice, and it's rice pudding, but it's not like a stone when you put it in the microwave, but it's not too it's totally different. And if you put the protein powder with it and some almond butter, it's
chef's kiss.
Sounds
chef's
lovely.
Kiss.
I'm starving now.
Yeah. Everyone goes to make
me
cream
too.
rice after this. To circle back to the beginning, because you mentioned you became pro in the Elite Pro League before going over to like NPC and Pro League. So was that in body fitness? Because that's, I think, isn't that in Europe? They have body fitness.
Yes, it's the same as figure. The problem was in 2017, where I got the Elite card. The federations were split.
Yeah.
Yes, the Pro League and the Elite Pro split, and I did the EVLS in Prague, my first international show, and I won. And backstage they came with a paper, hey, get an Elite Pro now, because it was an Elite Pro show 2017. So it was not possible. 1 year before, if you won the show, you went IFBB Pro. 2017, after the split, you are only were possible to get an Elite Pro at this point. So I thought, okay, I am from Europe. The most shows from the Elite Pro are in Europe. The most shows from the IFBB Pro are in the US. I was a nurse. I had not that much money to travel to the US for $5,000 or $10,000 to do shows there. So I said myself, okay, I will try my best in this federation and see how it is, and decided to do my Elite Pro debut in 2019. So I took 1 year off, 2018, and prepared for the pro show. And at the first try, I qualified for the World Elite Pro show. I think it's like they try to imitate the Olympia with the World Pro Show. You need to qualify at a pro show and win it, or take top 3 or something like that. And I got this done in the first try. and went to the World Elite Pro show and went third at the first try. And I was like, okay, that's good, that's nice. The first two competitors were from structure, from muscularity, from maturity, really, really experienced. And I thought to myself, this was the best placing I could imagine in this federation when they are competing with me.
Yeah.
So 2019, I decided to retire and not going to shows anymore because I didn't like the Elite Pro. I was happy with my placement behind these two successful ladies. And then I met my husband, and we do the sport. You know, nothing changed when you live the lifestyle, even if you're a pro, an amateur, or doing it only for yourself. And we watched live streams from Europa Pro. And he said, Jenny, you can do that too. You can look like that too. You can win that show too. So
he planted the
flame
seed
came
again.
up. Yes, the flame came out of me, and the seed was planted, and we prepared for the UK and won the show, and then the whole thing started again.
The journey began again.
Yeah.
So does your husband compete as well?
No, he's not. He always wanted. He tried 2 times, but then came COVID, and he had to cancel his plans. This was before starting our business in the supplement industry. Now he's too busy with the whole business and thing, and he's doing like 5-man jobs every day. So I think competing would not be a good plan if we want to keep our business running.
Amazing. Have you ever done, because I see a lot of the pros now are going over to America and kind of staying there for a few weeks or months and like kind of doing their preps there, and like Vegas is obviously big. Like, would you ever consider doing that? Is that something that no?
That's the plan. That's the plan. Yeah, we want to get here at a point where we can say, okay, we have our crew who's doing everything here for us, and we can be wherever we want to be. So in the next years, that's definitely a plan to stay. I don't know if we like to stay 1 month, 2 months, 6 months.
Yeah. But exactly, like once that business is kind of taken care of, you have that level of flexibility and freedom and stuff, which is awesome. Yeah.
Vacations are life, so
vacations are life.
but working while you're on vacation is freedom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I think people say to me as well, oh, you can travel whenever you want, and I'm like, yes, but my laptop comes everywhere.
That's true. So, but it's not like it's not like working. It's like working for yourself, doing what you love, and then it's a totally different feeling when you doing your job. It's not doing your job. It's
when you're passionate
living. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it. Like I don't actually like having a day off. Do you know? I'm like, oh, I'm always checking in on everyone when I'm like, if I go anywhere, even if it's not the check-in day. I'm like, yeah, all right. Yeah. I'm just a control freak, I think.
Yeah, you're a meanie.
Yeah, but I think that's passion. That's this freaky level of doing what you love is passion, and a lot of people are so frustrated in their jobs or their daily routines that they forget to live and like we said before, enjoying the journey and not seeing only the destination as the goal.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's a really good note to finish up on. I'm conscious we've had you on quite a while. One question for you, quick fire question before you go off. What is your death row meal?
A what?
Your death row meal. So your last meal on earth. What would it be?
Who? Okay, I can say it with the athlete Jenny.
Oh, any
mindset.
Any food, any food.
I think something crispy.
Yeah.
Something fried and crispy.
Yeah, good answer.
It doesn't matter what it's inside. It can be fish. It can be fish. It can be chicken. Crispy is
crunchy, crispy. Yeah.
But if like, do you know the calamari, fried calamari?
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, fried baby squid.
Yes, I know them. I used to put them on my fingers and eat them off.
I was in the UK in off season second time, and I had originally fish and chips at a pub. It was amazing.
With the mushy
so
peas.
amazing.
So good.
With the peas.
Peas, so good.
I am such a huge fan of crispy things in prep since almost 3 years. Every night I put on my air fryer and I have these princess beans, these long beans, and I put them in the air fryer and eat them like fries. Until I get fries.
Little prep hack, yeah. Exactly.
If you close your eyes, they are basically just fries.
Eyes, put vinegar on them, it's fine.
My husband every night looks at me and said, Jenny, they are burnt. No, they're not. They are crispy.
Do you dip them in your sauce as well, like fries?
Of course.
Brilliant. Jenny, would you like to tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, inquire with you?
So you can find me on Instagram, jennifer.zienert.ifbbpro. Of course, I have our own homepage, jenniferzienert.com, where I do my coaching requests or something like that. I do YouTube, like almost every week we bring some videos. It's German, but I think if the request would come to do it in English or something like that, maybe we can make some subtitles someday. Yes, so our brand is Zienert, ZNT Nutrition. We are not shipping international at the moment, but I don't know if
you need to send it to Australia. Yeah,
I don't know. You need to
dream big.
You need to the cream of rice, the grease yes. Someday. If we will meet someday, that. I will bring you that. So
okay.
Or if I will be back in the UK in Maidenhead, I will tell you and you will come and I will bring you back.
She will go for food.
I'll be there. I'll hold you to that one.
Jenny, thank you so much. We'll link everything in the show notes below so everybody can find you. But we appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy week and day to chat to us. It's been a pleasure.
It was a pleasure for me too, and I hope I can update you as soon as possible for the next shows or the next planned show.
Looking forward to it.
We'll be watching.
Yeah.
Bye.